Global Times, 26 October 2022. It is hard for Sunak to present systematic China policy because he is busy with things at home. China hopes that a split Britain will have a weak strategy toward China. Tuesday, just after Rishi Sunak became Prime Minister of Britain, he talked on the phone with Joe Biden, President of the US. They agreed to help Ukraine, and Sunak stressed that the US and UK should work together in the Indo-Pacific area to fight China's malign influence. On the other hand, Chinese observers said that the special relationship may not be significant right now because both leaders are struggling with problems at home and don't have much political power to fix them. However, experts also said Biden might not want an unstable ally because of the upcoming midterm elections, rising prices, and other problems in the United States. This means that the strength of their relationship will also rest on Sunak's ability to solve the issues in the UK. Chinese experts say Sunak won't be able to present a full China policy for at least 6 months because of the bad economy in his home country. He also won't follow in the footsteps of his predecessor Liz Truss's strict approach, like trying to label China as a threat, because further damage to the UK's relationship with Beijing will only worsen things. They told Sunak, who runs his government in a technocratic way, to keep being pragmatic when he looks at ties with China and China hope and to see Beijing as a partner in cooperation instead of an enemy to please the US. Li Keqiang, the Premier of China, sent a message of congratulations to Rishi Sunak, the new Prime Minister of the UK, on Wednesday. Li said that for a healthy and steady growth, China is ready to push forward with ties with the US. In regions such as the Indo-Pacific, the AUKUS Pact forms part of our efforts to enhance stability and counter China's malign influence. In reaction, Wang Wenbin, a spokesman for China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, said at a briefing on Wednesday that China is neither a partner in the development of every country nor a threat to their security. He also told the US to stop thinking in terms of zero-sum and stop sharing the tired China threat theory. Instead, he said, the US should do more to promote world peace and development. This is the first time since taking office that Sunak has publicly talked about his feelings about China. But when he ran against Liz Truss, who only lasted 45 days in office, Sunak said he would shut down China's Confucius Institutes in the UK and call China the biggest long-term threat to Britain. During the campaign, Truss wanted to make China a threat. Gui Hongjian, head of the Department of European Studies at the China Institute of International Studies, told the Global Times that people shouldn't believe election campaign language because candidates will compete to see who can speak louder and meaner to get more votes. Experts say that the UK will likely keep a strict policy toward China no matter who is in charge at 10 Downing Street as long as London wants to be a Washington puppet when it comes to slowing down China's growth. Sunak can't immediately give out a comprehensive China policy, Gui said. He explained that this is because the new UK Prime Minister will have to deal with many problems at home in the first few months of his term. These problems include an economy that is in a deep crisis. In his first speech as Prime Minister on Tuesday, Sunak warned that the UK is in the middle of an economic crisis. He also promised to fix mistakes made by Truss and win back the people's trust. He said there would be difficult decisions to come to get the economy back on track and keep people from taking out more loans. The Guardian said that before Truss quit, she was thinking about making China an official threat to the UK. This would change Boris Johnson's defence and foreign policy as Prime Minister. If Sunak proves to be a rational politician, he will not risk fraying the already strained China-UK ties when the UK economy is in deep trouble now. He also said that the White House and Downing Street readouts did not call China a threat. This means that Sunak is not likely to take the same tough line as Truss, at least not right now. According to the UK Office for National Statistics, China now sends the most goods to the UK. These goods are worth £63.6 billion, $611 billion, which is 13.3% of all exported goods. The Higher Education Statistics Authority says there are about 144,000 Chinese students in Britain in 2022. This is a 50% increase in students from just 5 years ago, as noted by BBC in March. People who don't want to go back to China go to the UK to become refugees. The Financial Times said that Sunak continued to push for a mature and balanced relationship with China while he was Chancellor of the Exchequer. He also tried to improve trade ties with China by bringing back the China-UK economic and financial dialogue. He said that when Sunak takes office, he will look at the relationship with China from all angles, including security, military, and diplomacy, not just from the point of view of economic cooperation. He urged Sunak, whose style of government is technocratic, to take on the practicality of the financial minister and see China as a partner in cooperation rather than a threat. When China threatens, we need to be practical. Chinese observers said that China hopes Sunak will continue Boris Johnson's overall diplomatic policies, which were pragmatic on trade issues with China and tough on political matters. Sunak has only been in national politics for 7 years, and his election was quick and rushed, so he may not be fully prepared. Experts say Sunak will keep the close links with Washington that were a part of Johnson's policy, especially regarding security and ideology. United States President Joe Biden called Sunak's election as conservative leader pretty astounding and a groundbreaking milestone. He was the first Prime Minister of the UK to be of Indian descent. The UK remains America's closest ally, Biden said on their call on Tuesday, and the Prime Minister agreed on the huge strength of the relationship, according to a readout from Downing Street. Biden's economic team had a secret argument with Truss's team about their plan to cut taxes for people who make a lot of money while Truss was in office. According to a story in the New York Times last week, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and several other finance ministers from the group of 7 countries spoke out against the plans this month. There is still a lot of chaos in the UK after Brexit and political unrest. However, the country must discuss many issues, like climate change and the G20. Wang Yiwei, head of the Institute of International Affairs at Renmin University of China, asked how the new prime minister could get the country to work together more with other countries if he couldn't solve problems at home.